evening from Malaysia. I am Miss Lavanya. I am an ACCA tutor for Audit and Assurance paper F8 and Advanced Audit and Assurance P7 paper. So that's a little bit about myself. And let's talk about this channel itself, Crazy Geek. Why, in the first place, we have actually founded this Crazy Geek with my team. The main reason is actually to bring awareness that there is a gap between what you study in your college or school with what you actually apply at work, regardless it's a listed company or a small and medium-sized enterprises. So for today's session, we have a phenomenal speaker, pretty interesting journey. He was in Malaysia and then he went to his home country, and there is a lot of exciting stuff he's going to share today. So hi, Mr. Syed. You want to talk about yourself
Hello.
first?
Hello, Lavanya. It's such a pleasure meeting with you online here today. And thanks once again for inviting me for this online presentation. So myself, Syed Nishat, as you have correctly pointed out, my journey started back in Malaysia in the year of 2015 as an accounting student in the University of Multimedia. So from there, I graduated from Multimedia University as a Bachelor of Accounting honors student. Concurrently, I also pursued CIMA, Chartered Institute of Management Accounting qualification. I qualified back in 2020, January, to be exact. And I came back in Bangladesh. And currently, I'm working in KPMG Bangladesh as an assistant audit and risk consulting, and also pursuing ACCA, the final papers of ACCA, so that I can have a solid understanding on audit and assurance. So that's all about my limited introduction. So you can go forward with your questions.
Okay, that's a phenomenal life journey, I would say, from Malaysia to your home country and doing what you really love doing. So let's not wait. I'll start with my first question. So, from your experience, Mr. Syed, is there a gap between what you studied back then in your college and what you actually applied currently in all the jobs that you have done so far?
Okay. Thanks for the question. I think that's a $1 million question to the youth out there and the students who are currently studying, especially in our background. I'm talking about accounting and finance. So there is a huge gap when it comes to what you study and what you do in your work. While I was studying back in my university time, I used to study the theories. I was lack the practical aspect of the theories. So what's going to happen when I start working, when I deal with my clients, the skills, the adequate skill set to, to manage the workload, to manage the practical aspect of the work was a gap while I was studying in my university. So my suggestion, the best suggestion that I can provide to the students out there is that while you are studying, try to link your studies, try to link your knowledge to some of the companies, to some of the case studies that you see. Okay, so by sitting in a university, you might not have the right, or you might not have the time, adequate time, the proper timeline to go out there and work. Some people still work part-time. That is awesome. But those who study, those who only study, try to link your chapters, try to link your topics to case studies as much as you can. So you will have the element of practicality over there. For example, when you are studying a topic like corporate finance, or you are studying a topic like organizational behavior, or let's just pick a topic of auditing, when you are studying risk assessment and materiality, try to find out cases related to that. Try to Google out the cases. There are hundreds of cases on materiality and risk assessment. Try to find out cases and try to read what happens when an audit team go out there and calculate, or when an audit team go out there and calculate the materiality or do the risk assessment. What are the challenges they face? These case studies will tell you all about this. So whenever you are reading a topic or gaining knowledge about a certain topic, try to read case. So my point is here, the learning should be case based. And if you have the ability, or if you have the link to talk to some of the corporate leaders, engage to some of the corporate leaders, or join some speaking session, join some learning session, try joining those. They will share their practical experience, so that from there, by sitting in your university classes, you can actually imagine what's going to come when you join the workforce. So this is a very tremendous way how you can bridge some of the gaps while you study and you go and join the workforce. At least you will not be surprised to see the biggest challenges coming when you join.
Okay, Mr. Syed, I have a question with regards of your suggestion. So how do we get connected to the corporate leaders? Like, I'm a student. Let's say I'm the student who doesn't have any kind of like huge connection with people. I don't know anything. It's just the only thing. I go to college and I'm the very average student and things like that. I want to get connected to corporate leaders, which I'm also not very confident to get, speak to them and things like that. So what's the easiest way they can do while they are in college or university?
Well, let me answer this question in this way.
Okay.
When I joined university, I was also in similar kind of situation. Look, I was in Saudi Arabia while I was doing my A levels, and from Saudi Arabia to Malaysia, I had nobody, literally nobody, to support me to speak to. So
That's
I
why
found
this
my way
question is
out.
the best for you, I guess.
So I found my way out
Mhm.
by knocking the doors of different people. People, or you can't just make friends just by sitting in your dorm, or just by sitting in your corridor. You have to go out and approach. The best way to do is join different clubs. I used to join different clubs. I used to, you have to be an outspoken person. You just can't be an introvert sitting in your classroom at one corner and expecting you're going to deal with every corporate leaders. That's not how things work. Well, so what you are going to do, what I did personally, I used to go and approach to each and every lecturers that used to teach me. After the class, after the lecture, I used to have a short chats with the lecturers, short talk with the lecturers. I used to give updates on my own point of view about the lecture. The lecturer used to take it positively, and that's how I used to build good connection with the lecturers. And what I used to do, I also used to join different clubs. I used to join different clubs, and these clubs, what they do, they will have different sessions. They will invite different lecturers from corporates, and these sessions can bring vital changes to your corporate career, or to your objective, to your career goal. Okay, so this is a very smart way to meet new people, to get connected with these corporate leaders, and also find opportunities. Second thing, what you can do, I should have done it earlier, but I was a bit late doing that. You have to know how to use LinkedIn properly. If you have a perfect LinkedIn account, if you maintain a perfect LinkedIn account, you can get connected to all these corporate leaders, all the HR talent acquisition heads, leads all over the world, and you can knock them, you can talk with them. They're very open to talk, and who knows, you might end up having a job.
That's pretty interesting. I totally agree with you. I also started late after I joined my job and everything. That will be a wonderful advice, Mr. Syed. So my next question is, I think it links back to your answer just now, but this is very specific to students who wants to pursue in auditing field. Let's say in their degree Bachelor of Accounting, they realize that, okay, auditing is something that I want to venture into. What is the first step they need to take at the university or college itself?
Okay, so this question is particularly in the regards to auditing
Correct.
student, and I would love to answer this because I'm a person who fell in love with audit and assurance recently after joining audit and assurance. So all this while I was like, I'm going to do something in the industry. I
Mm-hmm.
never dreamed myself to be in Big Four,
Okay.
never ever really. But once I joined and once I start working, I really like the elements or the work procedures in audit and assurance, or the professional works that we do in Big Four. So students, those who are studying, those who want to become an auditor in their future career prospect, they have to join a qualification relating to audit and assurance, first of all. So what are the qualifications available? You can join Bachelor of Accounting, you can join BBA, or several other business programs. But in Malaysia or whatever, worldwide, Bachelor of Accounting is a hot qualification to be an auditor. And if secondly, make sure that the degree that you're pursuing and the university from the university that you're pursuing your Bachelor of Accounting, that university should have affiliation with professional qualifications like ACCA and ICAEW, CIMA, and whatnot. So this is very important. As an auditor, if you want to become an auditor, you should be professionally qualified. That should be in your head from the very beginning of your university. So you ought to join a course, a university which has an affiliation with this kind of professional bodies like ACCA and ICAEW. So what happens after you qualify, after you finish your degree, you get plenty amount of exemptions, and that really what we call reduce your time to qualify as a chartered accountant. So being an auditor, you have to qualify as a chartered accountant. Unless and until you qualify as a chartered accountant, you as an auditor, your value will always be lower. So once you qualify as a chartered accountant, you really adding value to the audit team as a resource. So that is the first important aspect. When you join, try to make sure that your degree, your university is affiliated with professional qualification. Perfect. And then what you need to do is that, since you are already determined that I'm going to be a future auditor,
Yep.
the second thing is you will have audit and assurance papers.
Yep. Correct.
Auditing 1, auditing 2, and advanced audit and assurance. Most universities who has affiliation with ACCA and ICAEW, they run these common 3 papers which are in line with ACCA and ICAEW syllabus. So make sure while you are studying these 3 subjects, you understand the topics well. If you don't understand, try to understand it in a better way, that soon after you graduate, you are going to join Big Four or any other medium-sized firm, that your theoretical aspect should be clear, that your seniors don't need to teach you those again. They will just show you the practical aspect. So that really gives an impression about yourself to the senior audit team, that this individual knows something. I can use him or her in a better way. So that you need to make sure. Thirdly, or lastly but not least, you should join conferences, seminar run by Big Four. there will be times the big four chartered accounting firms or member firms will come to your university for recruitment or for seminars. You try and join. You try and talk with them. You try and build networks with them. So that makes your path actually very easy, or should I say smooth, to give you an entry to Big Four or any other auditing firm. So these are very important tips and tricks that you should be doing while you are in university, who are actually thinking to pursue their career in audit and assurance. That's from my personal point of view. You can add some more if you think.
Okay, I think that's pretty much what I would say as well. If you are going to pursue in audit itself, so that's my second question, Mr. Syed. Next one, I think you have already covered this a little bit in the first question itself, which is what can a student do now when they are in college or university itself to know the practical application of their studies? Like what you said just now, right? I mean, case studies, try to link and talk to lecturers and things like that. So is there any other things they can do as well?
Okay. So other than these, what comes in my mind is that you try to, because now the world, we are in a verge of Industry Revolution 4.0. And the world is really globalized. We are connected to each other. Like you just reached me within a second just by clicking a WhatsApp message. So the world is really globalized, and we are really connected to each other. So what we can do here is that, other than the tips, other than the strategies that I shared a little while ago, students can now start to freelance, involve in freelance work online while they're still studying in the university. So that will really give them a real work feeling, doing different assignments online. Okay, because now you don't have to travel to Malaysia to work in Malaysia client.
Yes,
you don't have to travel to UK to get clients from UK. You can actually freelance, and by sitting in Bangladesh, I can actually work for UK clients. I can actually work for Malaysian clients. I can actually work for Chinese clients. So if students can have that mindset and can try to absorb and get a little bit of a training on freelancing, that's going to be formidable. They can manage to get some clients in Fiverr or Zero, those platforms where you can get accounting clients. You can get you can actually get jobs regarding to finance and accounts. And if you as a student, I mean, from my knowledge, many of my students they kind of get involved with this while studying ACCA. They kind of get involved with these platforms, freelancing platform, and they're getting clients. They're actually dealing with real clients. So accounting students from their second year or third year, once they build some sort of maturity in accounting and finance, they can actually get involved with this kind of thing. And these are very easy learning platform. Within 1 month or 2 months training, they can really learn this Fiverr and Zero book, and they can start getting clients who needs advice on accounting and finance. And they can start to work online. And by doing so, they're actually getting the real client handling experience even before joining the workforce.
That's pretty interesting. I think when you say that, it's not just about the job by itself, but actually handling the clients is another big area which I think each and every day we are facing it. It's not that easy. Yes. It's an art, I would say, art of dealing with clients. Different clients have different personality and characters, and the way you need to communicate with them in their language. So I think that's very, very important thing they should actually start doing at a college itself. So let's go into another interesting question, Syed. So what are your views for our current education system, and what are the few measures you are taking for the betterment of education for the students itself?
Well, that's really a handy question to answer, but I would take the guard to solve. I mean, to crack it.
Okay.
So let's just start saying that we are still in a conventional education system.
Yep. Mm.
I'm not talking about ACCA and ICAW. Those are professional qualifications. So I'm talking about university education. So we are still in the verge of this conventional education system, even though we are in the Industry Revolution 4.0, but the education revolution hasn't been come yet.
Okay.
So what we should do, like I shared in my previous questions, that our education, especially the university education, should be case study based. If you see Harvard or Oxford MBAs, there is no exams. It's all about solving cases. It's all about dealing with real life scenario and preparing you to become a leader. So that's how the 4.0 revolution, this generation kid should learn. They should know what's going on in the practice, and that practice should be brought about in our university classrooms. So the only way that we can achieve that by having case-based education, where students will be given real life cases and they should solve those cases to come out of solutions, and different students will have different solutions. That's where the real amazement comes in. So different students will listen to different solutions, and they will develop the mindset of advisory. Now, because of this AIs, artificial intelligence and whatnot, we accountants became hybrid accountant. Hybrid accountant, in a sense, we are strategic accountant. We are no longer number crunchers where we'll just calculate doing additions and subtractions, balancing the balance sheets and so on. We are not those accountants anymore. The AIs, the technologies will give us the figures. We are here to give human advisory. We are here to add value by recommending solutions. So those mindset can only be achieved if we move from the conventional education to case-based learning. So that would be my solution to the changes that we should bring, and we are lacking. So to bridge the lack and to come to the industry revolution's way, we have to have qualifications or education that is case-based, not just knowledge-based.
Okay. So yeah, that's actually pretty much what's happening now and what should be moving forward. I think that's how should the education system should be in overall base. Yeah, but we have come to a very last question for today's session. So I think this is pretty much an interesting question as well. So share with us your one mistake you made when you were a student, which the adult you now would want to change at that point of time.
Okay, I think I have made thousands of mistakes, and to pick one from them is really tough. Okay. So I think I made mistakes in each and every day. I still make mistakes in each and every day, and
exactly.
I try to learn from them. And I think if I say I don't make mistakes, that would be inhuman. Okay. So, but the most logical mistake that I made while I was studying in university is that I tried to involve with so many things, and at times that really deviated my focus to what I want to achieve in future. So my in this regard, my solution or my suggestion to the future accountants out there would be uh, try to do strategic analysis in your choices. Okay, try to have uh, 2 to 3 fixed choices. You can't just have one. You should have at least 2 to 3 choices, and try to do corporate networking based on those 2 to 3 choices. Try to join clubs or try to do your activities based on those 2 to 3 choices. Not just go everywhere you like. That's where you get scattered. That's where you go blank. That's where you go blank. What I want to do. Okay, so if you filter out 2 to 3 choices from the very beginning, it makes your life so very easy when you join Big Four or when you join any accounting firm, because they have several different wings and you sometimes get really confused, and it's really confusing where you want to go. You want to join tax, you want to join advisory, you want to join audit and advisory, what else? So you fix your choice in one or two and try to act upon from the very beginning. So that's how your you can reduce the scarcity of your choice, and your mind will be fixed. Okay, this is what I want to do, this is where I should be going, and this is how I should be preparing. So that would be a solution to the students.
Okay, so with regards of your experiences, so how what kind of choice did you make? Like, I know it's a mistake that you made back then. So if you want to change that, I mean, how would you have focused on at the beginning itself?
Okay, so my target was, while I was studying in university, you see, I did my CIMA.
Yeah.
So my always, my focus or my want, my desire, always with this management accountants. So what happened? But I'm actually a good auditor. I'm really good auditor. I didn't realize that in my initial stage. So what I did, I joined GBS as an intern. I was also a good audit student back in my university. I was also a good corporate finance student. My corporate finance lecturers used to like me a lot, and I used to get good marks. I was also a good student in Malaysia tax. I used to do very well in Malaysia tax, and my tax lecturers used to like me a lot as well. And management accounting, I was also performing well.
Okay.
So I was actually in a great, dilemma that where should I go?
Exactly.
Where should I do? What is my actual objective then? Which field should I choose that will give me a career that I wanted, that will give me a rewarding career that I always looked for. So there came the GBS in my final year, or in 2018 or 19. That time, this a global business service was a trending topic, and these companies was booming at that time.
Okay.
Now there are a lot of GBS center in Malaysia. You can find a lot of GBS center. Okay. So I was like, since this is new, let me give it a try. So I tried. I did well in my internship as well, but I still couldn't link that this is my biggest strength, or this is the thing I really like, and I would really pursue in my foreseeable future. So after I came back to Bangladesh, and joined KPMG. And once I started to do audit, I actually liked the whole concept of auditing so much that once they transfer me to risk consulting projects, I actually start to miss my audit work. So it's like that. So there I found, okay, I actually this is my area where I find interest, and I should focus on that area too.
Okay.
So then what I did, I somehow stopped thinking about all those options for a while, and I put more time revising those auditing standards, revising those KPMG, Clara, all the workflows and all, to build the knowledge on this even further. And once I did that, and I saw the great results that I can add value to my teams, and I can add value to the assignments. So, that's a bit of hectic things to do if you realize later that this is what I want to do in future. So then all the things you have to do in a rush. But if you prepare from the very initial level, you actually don't have to rush at the end when you get started. So that's my suggestion, that try to fix your choice to 2 to 3 aspects and act upon those 2 to 3 aspects and join one of it, and you will really enjoy your life.
I think in the end, it's about whether are you happy doing what you are doing? Are you really satisfied when you go back to home, and when you sleep, you feel like, okay, today I give my best, and the excitement is that drive is there. I think that's what every student needs to find. Once you find, just focus on that and give your best. I think that's the best thing you can do. Okay, Mr. Syed, I think I also wanted to ask you this question. Back then, before we had this discussion, you were mentioning that you wanted to share also one of the very recent lessons you learned with regards of handling client, if I'm not mistaken, something like that. It's about listening more, or something to do that with that. Do you want to share about that? Yeah.
Thanks for reminding me, Lavanya. Actually, it is regarding to communication and client handling experience.
Okay.
So I think this can be a great message to all my auditing and accounting students out there, and your students out there, that if you want to join Big Four, or if you want to be in a professional field, the client handling, the management skill should be top notch. So what I used to do, and I redesigned myself, totally from the old approach to the new one. I started handling audit clients, and then later on, I went to the advisory clients as well. So what happened is, when you do audit clients as an external auditor, you have the power. You have the mighty power to ask anything and everything from the client. And client is bound to provide you with all the requisitions that you place. Okay, they can't say no, because you are doing their stat audit, and if you come up with any material misstatement that misstates their financial statement, and that's going to have a huge impact in their share price and their reputation out there in the market. So they're bound to provide you all the requisitions, all the PBC that you put in. But when you go for advisory clients, let's say you are doing a management audit or any other consulting project you work in, you are actually working for the client. Okay, there comes the change in mindset, change in leadership, change in management, change in your communication way altogether. You cannot behave like an external auditor
Yeah.
to advisory client. Okay, so I was still the same external auditor
Mhm.
while I went for a management audit or a consulting project. So I found out that clients started reacting; they didn't like it.
Mm.
Then I had suggestions from my seniors, from my manager, that that's not how you handle your consulting projects. You actually have to listen what they say. You actually have to liaison with the clients when you are working as an advisory consultant. Okay, so then I tailor made myself. Then the forcing attitude, from a forcing attitude to a uh, you know uh, to a agreeing attitude,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
what you want, I will provide you with that. You want the solution of this, I am here to provide you the solution of this. I'm not here to scare you. I'm not here to find your mistakes. I'm
Mm.
here to listen to your mistakes and come up with a
With the
solution.
solutions. Yeah.
Yeah. So, because the students will also find problems in regard to this. So what they should do, they should understand the objectives of the project first. They
Mm.
should understand what external auditors do, and when they change to another assignment, they should understand the objective, what I need to do, and based upon the objective, their communication. And when you are working in a professional environment, you will be working in different assignments.
Mm.
So you really have to understand the objective of your assignment, and accordingly you need to change your mindset. Your leadership, your management, and your communication skill should act upon it with the changes. And you can't just have a fixed mindset and go on with the assignment. And if you have it, then you're not going to successfully close the assignment. So in order to be a good auditor, in order to be a good consultant or advisor, you should have a broad understanding on how you change your perspective, overall perspective. Because sometimes you're going to do your external audit.
Mm.
There you need to force the client. Okay, and when from there you come to a consultancy project, you have to be a real business advisor. You need to listen to the client what they want,
Okay.
and you act upon what they want. So you can't just say or go out there and find mistakes. This is what you do, this is what you do.
Okay.
Then client will become angry with you.
Angry with
And
you. It'll be very reactive.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
they will start to react, and they will be like, um, we didn't call you for that. We called
Okay,
you because
okay.
we know what we are
What we are
doing
doing.
wrong,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and I want you to find the solution. Okay, so you are here to provide me with the solutions. And for us, those who really do audits, and if someone is doing audit for the last 2 to 3 years, and if you put them in a consultancy, they really find this as a great problem.
Yep.
So they really continue that mindset, and
Yes,
they get stuck, somehow get stuck when they come
exactly.
to this
Yeah,
consultancy. So
yeah. Mm.
sharing this example of mine,
Mm.
the basic objective is to let the audience know that
Mm.
be flexible.
Okay. Yeah.
Be flexible. Try to understand what the project wants from me. What are the objectives? Try
Mm.
to understand that. And secondly, try to build a rapport with your client. Try to understand your client as well.
Okay.
Okay, that is it a complex client? Is it an
Mm.
easygoing client? You have
Mm.
to understand the client as well, how the client is reacting, their behavioral aspect as well. And based upon all these factors, you tailor made your approach. That's where you will be succeeded.
Okay. That's perfect. I think that's something each and every student needs to do, because many times a student are not aware of actually there is this different kind of elements. It's just like they're very silo mentality, which okay, it's accounts, and then this is audit, and this is tax. It's very silo mentality, which I had back then as well. But when you go into a job, when you take up a client, it's not going to be silo mentality. It's everything is going to be interrelated, and you must be able to have this different mindsets. At sometimes in a day, you need to be a tax person, you need to be an auditor, and also you need to be an accountant at the same time. So I think that's a very good point, actually, Mr. Said. Thank you so much for sharing that. So we have came to the end of the session. So is there any final words of any final suggestions you want to share with the students itself?
Okay. First of all, thanks for inviting me to your show once again, and
most welcome.
Giving me the platform to talk some of my experience. So before we end, or before I leave this show, I just want to say one thing to all the audience out there, is that try to fix your choice from the very initial aspect. Like I said before, this should be my signature sentence out of this talk show, that try to fix your choice from the very beginning. Okay, so that you can actually work upon it, start to work upon it from the very beginning, and you will really get the maturity on that, and you will really perform well. And once you perform well, you will really feel good about yourself. So fixing a choice is very important, rather than having the scattered mindset that you don't know what you are going to do. So you should know what you want to do. That is the first step to become successful. If you don't pick something that I want to be this, then you work on this. If you don't have that, then you are in an ocean. You don't know what you are doing.
Exactly.
So fix your choice, act accordingly from the very initial level, and you will get success.
Thank you so much. I think it's a huge pleasure to have you with my session, and I'm very grateful to actually have you as a speaker with a lot of phenomenal experience with regards of this field itself, auditing. So thank you so much once again. Definitely we will meet another time, maybe for another topic. So till then, thank you. Bye. Take care.
Same to you. Same to you.